Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Good morning, everyone out there. This is Inside Nigeria for Monday, August 23, 2001. Welcome on board for the first edition of the week. My name is Bode Badebo. I am with my co-host this morning, Winifred Ogebo.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Nigeria. It's a great pleasure to be with you this Monday morning. Welcome.
Yeah, and of course, we are not alone this morning. We are with our regular Monday analyst, Tai Odewale. Tai Odewale is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and journalist with the Blueprint newspaper. Odewale, welcome to Leadership Podcast Studio.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome.
So how was your weekend, sir?
Thank God on it.
You're looking fresher. And of course, we're starting as usual with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, The Leadership. And on the front page of The Leadership this morning, "7 weeks after, 65 Bethel Baptist students still in captivity as 15 regain freedom." 7 weeks after, 65 Bethel Baptist students in captivity as 15 regain freedom. And of course, we have some disturbing statistics on the front page of Leadership this morning. Islamia pupils spent 85 days in kidnappers' den. 79 federal government college Benin Yahweh students have spent 77 days. Bandits killed 2 pastors, 24 others in Benue, Kaduna, and Katsina. And of course, Kaduna government is ordering a probe of the latest Zango Qatar killings. Quite a disturbing headline this morning, Odewale, on the front page of The Leadership. But we need to call government to action.
Very, very disturbing, honestly speaking. Look at it. 85 days for Islamia pupils, 79 for students of discipline, and then 48 for the Bethel Baptist and this thing. In a country where you have all the security operatives, you talk of the military, you talk of police, even if you have to add the civil defense to it, those things operation can be carried out to rescue these pupils. If you watch the 15 students of Bethel released yesterday, when the parents of Pastor Akanji, the head of the Baptist, when they were asked whether they paid ransom or not, he started very disclosed that they paid. He didn't mention any amount, but he didn't say that the government played any role there. It's very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. It shows that in Nigeria, God forbid, anybody that have access to arm and ammunition, it will be difficult for government to cope with. So is government telling Nigeria that it is people harmless, how will I describe them? Harmless agitators or whatever, like the Kanu, Sunday go and go. Those are the people government can go after.
Not criminals.
The moment you are armed, the government is incapacitated. It shouldn't be so, honestly speaking. As well as the government need to wake up and find solution to this.
Just like a comedian, jokingly put it, he said the government efforts in tackling banditry is most effective when you are outside the country. So look at Nnamdi Kanu, look at Sunday Igboho. It's just what you just said, in line with what you just said, that federal government's might is stronger where those activities are concerned. It's very, very unfortunate. And if you see that 7 weeks after, that is almost 2 months.
Yes.
2 months.
And the problem has to do with our security.
And it's not that all of them have regained freedom. It's just.
If you recall, also at the weekend, popular Kaduna-based Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi also said, reacting to President Muhammadu Buhari's son's wedding in Kano and the report of about 100 private jets that landed in Kano, he said people who flew private jet to Kano were bandits because Nigerians are in captivity while they are enjoying their own life. Would you say government is not sensitive to the plight of Nigerians?
Government is not sensitive. There is no any other better way of government is not sensitive of describing it. The reality is there now. How in your country, with some people, kidnap some people, they spend 70-something days, 80-something days, 40-something days, not 3 days, not 2 days, so in the same country. And those in a position of authority are going to bed with their 2 eyes closed, as if nothing has happened. What I wanted to comment on before you ask me that question is that the problem lies with our security architecture. I think government supposed to know that, especially our federal lawmakers and the state lawmakers, the high time we stop this centralized security architecture. The high time we decentralize it, the better. The decentralized security architecture has failed, and there is not no amount of money you pump into it. As long as you want to be fighting crime from Abuja, there's no way criminals will not beat you to it. That is it.
And of course, you know, the security architecture will not restructure itself. So the blame for me is with the political leadership.
And that's the reason why I say federal lawmakers and state lawmakers. The constitutional review exercise is going on. Let me mention just one item. One item that is there. Policy is one of the 68 items that is in the exclusive list. Supposed to be brought
Give up down
the concurrent list. The federal police will be there as it
and
is.
state police.
And then state that had the financial wherewithal, they set up their own. The state will be able to checkmate these local crimes and here and there. That is it. And there is no federation that is running the type of security architecture we are running. And that is why we are having this problem.
So our own federation is the odd one. Because
Very,
federation across the world are actually
very awkward
practicing true federation.
It's an abnormality to
Okay, what in essence, what we have are obsolete laws. Obsolete laws. You understand that we are still having policing, security in the exclusive preserve of the federal government, which is not good because most times state governments have cried out, have even talked to these security apparatus to act, especially when criminality is taking place in their domain, and those ones will say they are still waiting for
you wait to order from IG.
So that's why we are talking
That's
about
what we're talking about,
structuring and the
centralized
constitution amendment to actually make sure
to
that
change that security architecture.
we have a system that works
There
for
is
us.
no way you can beat criminals to it. They operate at the local level.
Recently, there was call for community policing, and of course, all state governments were in agreement with it. I don't know what has happened to that.
You see that community policing, it was the former IG, immediately past IG, Mohammed Abubakar or something like that. Immediately past IG was the one who came with that, and from my investigation, that was part of the thesis he wrote. I get what I say. What do they mean by community policing? So are they telling us that the police we have now, they are policing the moon or the sky? They are not policing community. That is nonsense. What do you mean by community policing? Nigeria is a federation. Each of the states supposed to have his own police under his control. That is a police as we have it in my area. There is a police division. Even National Assembly, the DPO. And what are you talking about community policing? Police are already policing the community, but because the command structure is centralized, that is what is incapacitating it from stemming
Effective policing.
Yes, that is it.
Okay, Odewale, we need to move away to leadership, sister publication,
Yes.
the national economy.
Yes, and the national economy has on its cover today how federal government, private sectors partnership revived local fertilizer blending plants. How federal government, private sectors partnership revived local fertilizer blending plants. And on this right that we have as investments in local production since 2016 hit 8 billion naira. That is national economy.
$8 billion.
Yes, $8 billion.
In fact, it's a jarring is when I saw this thing. That means the effort to diversify the economy along the agricultural system, green light is being shown. It's a very good development. I'm very happy with that. What started in 2016, we are seeing a lot of progress because fertilizer is very, very important of food cash production and so on and so forth. So if they have achieved this in the next 5-10 years, I think diversification will be more apparent in the sector.
Yeah,
The one thing is that our farmers actually do they really have access to this fertilizer? Is it accessible now?
I have been residing in Kubwa since 1995, and I think I'm very close to Buhari and their council government. I think what they used to do for those farmers is the government used to subsidize. The farmers have their various groups. So they have access, we say they have access to it. Based on what I am seeing in Buhari area council.
Okay.
You know the Baggies, they are farmers,
Yes.
and there are other tribes like Koro, and there are waterfield. The Buhari area council government give them fertilizer at subsidized rate. They have access to it. I don't know how the state government.
Exactly, because I heard reports of some state governments complaining that most times the access you're talking about is mainly in the northern states of the federation. So I don't really know how.
And Abuja too is part of the.
I really don't know how.
Abuja that I've started as a sample is also part of the northern part of the country. No, I don't think it will be true that all the crop fertilizer will be based in one part of the country. The 17 state government in the state cannot be sleeping now without accessing this very important agricultural something.
Oh, there are many angles to these stories that we need to actually digest very well. You know, before the commencement of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative in 2016, we learned that there were only 11 fertilizer blending plants in the country. But as we speak, because of that initiative under President Muhammadu Buhari administration, we now have 46 fertilizer blending plants.
Very good.
And a lot of private people are also invested to the tune of $8 billion.
Very good. From 11 to 46.
Exactly.
It's very, very remarkable.
In the last 5 years or
It's
so.
very, very remarkable. It's very, very. I think the government need to be applauded for that achievement, despite the awful failure as far as security is concerned. So the government continues along, but even this fertilizer, without government addressing the problem of insecurity, the farmers collecting the fertilizer will not be able to go and apply it.
Exactly.
If the farm is not secured.
Not impact our food production.
Yes. Nevertheless, I think kudos to government for this achievement, and the tempo should be sustained.
Even though despite all these statistics, people are still, farmers are still having issues with accessing fertilizer at affordable price.
At affordable price.
Yes.
Then maybe a P1 we make is maybe to the state government to help in subsidizing it. As I said here in Abuja, I've even used the example of Buhari area council. It's well subsidized. I live within the neighborhood of the Baggies. I know how they collect the fertilizer, and I know that people collecting the fertilizer are not fabulously rich farmers. So it is the government that is subsidizing the product.
Well, I will hope to be joined by Mr. Gideon Negedu, the Executive Secretary of the Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAM. If you join us, we add more insights to this fertilizer story. And of course, we need to go on a short break. When we come back, Odewale, we will go on the third paper on the menu today, which is the blueprint. We'll be back shortly. welcome back. And of course, it's still in Nigeria for Monday, August 23, 2000. Studio with my co-host, Winifred Odebo, and of course, our regular analyst, Tai Odewale. Tai Odewale is an Abuja-based public affairs analyst and journalist with the Blueprint newspaper. Now we are being joined by Mr. Gideon Negodu. Mr. Gideon Negodu is the Executive Secretary,
Can
Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAM. Mr. Negedu, welcome to Leadership Podcast Studio. All right.
Are you hearing us? Good morning.
If you can hear me, I can't hear you.
We
Oh,
can
good.
hear you now.
I can't hear you at all.
All right, we fixed the connection there, and while we fix the connection, we'll come back to you. Odwale, Mr. Negedu is the Executive Secretary of FEPSAM, Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria. He also had his own voice to the fertilizer story. And I think we're trying to ask you something before we went on break about accessibility at affordable price by
Yes.
farmers.
And I said that government need to come in to help the farmers by way of subsidizing the fertilizer.
Are you still talking about subsidy
No, I'm not talking of federal government.
Okay.
I'm saying respective
State
state
government.
government.
to subsidize?
Yes.
Okay.
As area councils
Okay.
are doing
Okay.
in Abuja, that is
Okay.
how they do it here.
So this fertilizer success story is not complete if farmers cannot
If there is no access to it, then
Exactly.
at affordable
what
price
is the essence
for
of
food productivity.
having a mass production without people who are supposed to use it not having access to it?
All right, let's go back to Mr. Gideon Negedu.
Mr. Gideon.
All right, it's like we're having challenges with that connection. Of course, we are moving to the next newspaper on our menu for this morning, the Blueprint. And of course, on the front page of Blueprint this morning, just Muslims to Christians. We will protect churches in our domain. Just Muslims to Christians. We will protect churches in our domain. Ogun evacuates 80 stranded Unijust students. Lalong begs Akeredolu. ASU decries attacks on students. Staffers. This is another disturbing story, even though one good thing about it is that we are trying to now see cooperation, understanding between two major religious organizations, Christianity and Islam. Now, Muslims are saying they will protect churches.
That is very good. Since Muslims are saying they protect churches, automatically Christians
We
will be
reciprocate.
ready to protect
Monks.
Muslims if they are attacked by their fellow Christians. If that is done, I think that will put those who are fond of hiding under religion to commit crime, it will put them to shame. Since if they know that other adherents of their faith are not on the same page with them, I think it will stop that embarrassment that we have been having in the country. It's very, very disturbing. I don't know how University of Jos, okay, it's not even University of Jos, it's a plateau state, how they be able, anyway, gradually peace is being restored back to the state. I just feel that one is done.
Remember, incidentally, you were here last Monday when we had the Commissioner for
Yes.
Information on Jos
Yes.
killing, and we asked him why is it that we have seen arrests but we have not seen trials, punishment, and the rest of them. Maybe that is why nobody is able to break the cycle of the reversal attack.
Exactly. That's the reason why. In fact, I can't think of any mob action in Nigeria that has taken place and then alleged perpetrators were arrested and prosecuted.
And that's not too
I mean,
good.
but I doubt whether there will be any instance.
Yeah,
And as you rightly said, that is what is
Happen.
making other people to go into
What's
such
emboldening them?
yes.
All right, Odewale, we need to move to the next newspaper on our menu, Winifred. The Punch.
Yes, the Punch is our next newspaper that we are reviewing this morning. And the Punch has on its cover, government 4.8 billion naira pledge. Federal government can't be trusted, says NAND. That is National Association of Resident Doctors. We negotiated with Nigerian Medical Association. Minister insists. And it has on its rider, we can't go back to our members with empty promises. Pay first, NAND. That is National Association of Resident Doctors in Nigeria. Then second bullet has, we didn't hold talks with you. Your matter is in court in the day, tells doctors. I take that again. Government 4.8 billion naira pledge. Federal government can't be trusted, says NAND. We negotiated with NMA. Minister insists. It's the battle between the National Association of Resident Doctors and the federal government, anyway, represented by Minister Ngige. It's still dragging on, and everybody thought that by this weekend there will be an impasse. So what is happening?
For this submission that government negotiated with NMA, which body is on strike?
It's not.
It's like if not
Yeah,
is on strike.
NMA is the parents.
It's everybody. Now, this National Association of Resident Doctors, these are doctors that are undergoing training.
Even though the Yorubas we say you cannot shave somebody's head behind his back, or you cannot shave somebody's head behind his back.
You can't. That is because penultimate Saturday, honestly speaking, a family friend, daughter of a family friend almost died. Student of government, federal government college, Kwali.
Okay, in Abuja here.
In Abuja here, the mother actually traveled and they got a call that the girl was almost given up, and then branch and they picked the girl there, took her to the hospital. Getting that, she was told that the doctors were on strike. But it may be part of their training. We are happy that some of these resident doctors, out of sympathy, they attended and God helped them in grabbing. So I now see the opportunity to go around. I went around all the wards were empty. People have evacuated, all the patients have evacuated from the ward. So what are you talking about? That is how all public institutions will be. And you are saying you are negotiating with the enemy. You are in court. We are with them. 4.8 billion. Look for the money, even if it is half, because now they say they can't go back to their members with empty promises.
Yes, but this is an issue that keeps dragging on every year, and let me tell you, by the time this impasse ends, you can trust me. The nurses, medical scientists, they are also going to come up with their own again, and it's still going to be another round of strike.
I think last Monday we spoke on something like this. Very, very sorry for other health practitioners, like respectable pharmacists, nurses, all of that. But I think when you mention hospital, what comes to anybody's mind is doctor. If anybody is going to hospital, the person is going to meet is doctor. He may, after meeting the doctor will now say, go and go and do this test, go and do that. If his or her sickness or illness requires him to be admitted, that is where nurses will now come in. So what I want to say is that the other professionals, yes, we appreciate their services. They should know that doctors play very vital role. If government decide to give a doctor something, not that you just come up and say what you are giving the doctor, give it to me also. Because if nurses and pharmacists and other people go on strike, it was the way the hospitals are granted now. That is the way hospital will be granted again. Because you can't just walk to hospital and then go and meet a doctor. Somebody must be there that will connect your card and then tell you the doctor to meet, and then there must be somebody who will be there to test your BP and what have you. So information doctors need to have on the card. So my appeal is government should, I think all the stakeholders in that sector, they need to be spoken to. You sit together and appeal to them. All this incessant strike in that sector, a lot of lives are being lost.
It's a lingering issue that has bedeviled the sector over the years.
The ego crisis should be stopped. Honestly speaking, I don't want to go the way of the late Oyo State Governor Ajimobi. He was very, very frank. I know if Ajimobi were to be president or minister, he handled this issue, he would have created controversy. But he's saying the obvious fact. He would have told the other practitioners that no, you can't compare yourself with the doctors. If you want to get what you are giving the doctor, you need to go back to Subo and read the lesson. But you know when you say that one is offensive,
Very, very.
they will not take it.
As-
And the work the other people are doing are very, very important. But what you are saying is that the work you are doing, somebody need to carry out diagnosis,
Yes.
so that you now be able to do your own work. It is doctor that to do the diagnosis. That okay, this is the ailment this person is having. At that point, okay, nurses will come in. Then the drugs will be recommended. Pharmacy will come in. If there are tests to be carried out, laboratory scientists will come in, and so on and so forth. Doctor is the vital distance.
It is. I know as someone like I'm somebody that has covered the sector for a long period of time, so I know the issues that are there. There's just like what you call it. There's so much ego. Ego is the thing because by the time this issue is resolved, with NAD, you can bet the health practitioners they are coming up again with their own demand, and if federal government does not meet their demand, they're also going on their own.
And even as you have it in nation, don't forget it's the same thing in the education sector.
Yes.
If ASU goes on strike, and at the end of the day, government gives ASU some concession, NASU, and then there's other SANU, all of them will also come out and say so. And then the student going to university, he's not going there to meet member of NASU or SANU. He's going there to taught by the lecturer. Yes, we know that other people will be there to keep the records and what have you. So that is the problem. We should stop this ego fight. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for.
Mr. Godwin Nigedu has joined us back. He was speaking to us on the fertilizer issue. Mr. Nigedu.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Nigedu.
Yes.
Mr. Godwin Nigedu is the Executive Secretary of Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAN. Mr. Nigedu, let me go straight to the point. You saw the story on the front page of National Economy this morning and that of the leadership.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us, how has the partnership between the private sector and government impacted fertilizer production in Nigeria, at least since the commencement of the Presidential Fertilizer Initiative in 2016?
Good morning again. I apologize. We had some technical issues on our side here. But it's good to be on the show. We read the report this morning, and from our perspective, it's been very exciting working with the federal government, particularly the president, in trying to make sure that we build our capacity to produce not just what we call generic fertilizers, but very specific fertilizers that our crops would require. Prior to now, Nigeria relied heavily on imported fertilizers, which do not necessarily specify the kind of fertilizers we need per region or per crop. So the aim of the initiative has been to grow that capacity locally so that our farmers can come and request for fertilizers that would directly meet their requirements vis-a-vis their soil and their crops. Before we started this initiative, we had just 2 functional blending plants in the country, but as at now, we have 46 blending plants in the country. Please bear in mind, these blending plants are production plants that is private sector investment. This is not government money. This is not government investment. This is private sector investment. But private sector investing because the environment is conducive to invest. So it's been very good. The president has also encouraged by restricting the importation of what we can produce here, and that has spurred up interest to invest more in the space. Right now, we have grown our capacity to produce fertilizer locally from 2 million tons prior to when this program started to 7 million tons now. Our consumption is something around 2 million tons of fertilizer per annum. So we have more than enough capacity today to meet our fertilizer requirements. So for us, it's been a fantastic work with government, and we are seeing a classic example of how private-public partnership should be.
Yes. Where do you see Nigeria in food production?
Where I see Nigeria in food production now, or
Yes. from now?
Well, where I see Nigeria in the next 5 years,
In food
if we
production.
continue, if we continue in this trajectory, this trajectory is the government making the environment conducive. Nigeria will be a net exporter of food crops, not only food crops, but more importantly, cash crops. What are the things government is doing positively now? Things that can be produced locally here. Nigeria is actively restricting importation so that our farmers can be encouraged to go to the field. Now, yes, the prices of food will go up because of some of this restriction, but it's a temporal, in my view, it will be a temporal increase because more people will be attracted into farming because of the high prices. Obviously, with that, there will be a boom, and the prices of these things will come down. But the environment keeps being conducive because the input space that the farmers requires to produce is being made is very much available. Before now, we imported most of our inputs, but right now, Nigeria produces its own seeds. Nigeria produces its own fertilizers, and not just any fertilizer, the specific ones that our crops would require. Uh, it's only a matter of time, and the we'll continue to see those boom across the year. So for us, it's very exciting. We only need to be focused. Some of the issues and challenges, I want to believe government is already tackling that to ensure that farmers are encouraged to go back to their fields and farm. And so far, the reports have been positive.
All right. Many thanks to you, Mr. Gideon Negedu, Executive Secretary of Fertilizer Producers and Suppliers Association of Nigeria, FEPSAN. Thank you for joining us at Inside Nigeria this morning.
Thank you.
Adewale, thank you for joining us too. It has been a fruitful day. We look forward to see you again.
Thank you.
All right. We need to go on a short break. When we come back for the second segment, we shall be talking to Ayo Oladele. Ayo Oladele is an Russian-based IT expert and lawyer. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back from the short break, and we are still on Inside Nigeria with my co-host Winifred Ogbebo. In
Welcome
this,
back.
all right, in this second segment, we
Yes.
shall be looking at the plan by the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) to establish Federal Revenue Court, a special court to deal with tax matters in Nigeria. And of course, we shall be talking with Ayo Oladele. Ayo Oladele is an IT expert, lawyer, and business developer. He's speaking with us from the city of Northbridge in Russia. Good morning, Ayo.
Good afternoon from Novosibirsk.
It's
It's afternoon in
afternoon there.
Russia.
Yes,
Okay, it's 10:35 Nigerian time in Abuja here.
it's a pleasure to be on your talk show.
Thank you so much, Ayo. This is Leadership Breakfast Show inside Nigeria. You are welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I know you've been following development back home in Nigeria, Ayo.
Yes,
So, what is your take on the plan by Nigeria's Federal Inland Revenue Service to establish a special federal revenue court in Nigeria?
well, that would be a good win for the legal system. Usually in European countries, we have such smaller or district courts, as you can decide to name them or call them. And this helps to fast track the justice system and ensure that justice is served depending on the type of litigation. But in this case, we are going to be considering white collar crimes. So there's no need for someone who has evaded tax to go to the regular proceedings where you have some severe criminal cases. And considering the fact that in the Nigerian legal system, we have cases where a lot of people are yet to be tried in court because probably there's a traffic congestion. This will be a very good way out. So there's a special court for financial disputes or financial crimes, and this will help things to be able to work much more easier for the legal system and the practitioners.
Also, another thing the FIRS is seeking is also the inclusion of VAT in exclusive lists. So, what is your take on that? They are asking for two reliefs now: the establishment of federal revenue courts and the inclusion of VAT in the exclusive list.
Well, I think the issue of VAT should still go about some debate. Probably the Ministry of Commerce will be players in this case too, because if the burden through taxation is too much, it will also affect the fluidity of business process. So I think it should be given a second thought, and whatever will be most comfortable for Nigerians should be the special consideration.
Okay, Ayo, there are also planned by Nigerian IPS Bank, the Central Bank of Nigeria, to introduce electronic naira, e-naira in Nigeria. I know you are vast in this area. What is your take about Nigeria's e-naira?
First of all, I would say I'm very interested and curious as this is actually my sphere. I'm a specialist in cyber cyber and IT law. And of course, when we're talking about electronic money in the crypto space, these are special considerations that you can throw away. It's a very good motive. It's very interesting. Most of other countries are expanding their financial strength to the crypto space, and I think Nigeria should not be left in this race. However, I've been trying to lay my hands on some documents as to this regards to have further information. But I hope the CBN will release maybe a light paper or a white paper somewhere. All people who are thinking of business integrations or any form of legal regulations that will guide business processes can see how all these things will work. Of course, and this will be a very good insight for our financial institutions to know how they can integrate their payment system into the e-naira. So it will be good to know if the CBN will have a blockchain of its own, and what will be the set price for this naira in the global blockchain space and crypto market. So I think between now and October, before the launch, we'll be able to get more details from CBN, and then third-party players who would want to run maybe digital exchange or any form of decentralized finance services will be able to benefit from it, and it will be a win-win for everyone. But it's a welcome development, and um, I encourage our people to embrace these changes in the financial space.
With us, we go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. All right, welcome back. We have been speaking with Ayo Oladele. Ayo Oladele is a business developer, IT expert, and lawyer based in Russia. Ayo,
Yes, please.
oh, good. So we go back to the issue of the revenue caught by the Nigeria Federal Inland Revenue Service. Now,
Yes.
over time, there have been debates as to who should be the custodian of value-added tax, which is VAT. Many people have described a situation where VAT is collected in a more productive area and to be shared to a less productive area, as the classical case of monkey they walk, baboon they chop in Nigerian local parlance. Do you share in that notion?
Well, the thing is, if we want to be sincere to ourselves, most of the things we buy when we purchase some forms of goods and services, they are already taxed in most cases. So there are instances where we have double taxation. Okay, so I've heard about instances where maybe someone is coming from abroad to have a party in Nigeria and decide to buy a Gucci shoe, for an example. And then at the airport, they say, "Oh, where's the receipt for this purchase? You have to pay value added tax." But meanwhile, the person has already paid this tax in the country of purchase. But it's a very dicey and complicated situation that really need to be trashed out. In most cases, people feel reluctant to pay these taxes because, like, it should come with, it should automatically be sorted out. But the issue of who should take who should take the taxes, it's I would rather shy away a little bit from this stuff because I'm not a tax lawyer, of course, and I'm not so vibrant in this case. But I think we should always avoid double taxation, and even if there are going to be tax for goods and services, there should be a balance. It should cut across the board, and some sectors should not be left out if we're going to have an overall form of taxation.
All right, many thanks to you, Ayo Oladele, for creating time to be part of our show this morning inside Nigeria.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's a
We look
pleasure.
forward to have more of you on this show, Ayo. Thank you very much. Ayo Oladele, IT expert, business developer, and lawyer, spoke to us from city of Northbridge in Russia.
Thank you so much.
We've come to the end of the show, Winfred.
Yes, we have. But tomorrow is still another day.
All right, tomorrow is another day. Listen out there, thank you for being with us from the hour of 10 to this moment. Keep it up with us tomorrow for another edition of Inside Nigeria. Winfred, it's time to say bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye bye. See you tomorrow.
All right, my name is Body Gbadibo. Bye for now.